Okay, and we're online. Welcome everyone to today's dxTechTalk. We're doing QA day. I'm Maria and I am your host. And today we're going to be talking with Ina and Dimitar. And we're online. Before we start, I would love to know where everyone is from. We already have some people here on the chat. We already have some people saying they're from Portugal. Hi, Fernando. I'm from Portugal too. But let me know where you all are from. I always love knowing where people are. Will there be a recording? Yes, we leave all of our DX Tech Talks online in our channel, so you'll be able to take a look at them after. So feel free to do that. You can revisit anything that you want in the future. We already have some answers. We have some people in Bulgaria, some people from Ukraine, North Macedonia, Denmark. Ooh, Denmark. I don't think we had anyone from Denmark in one of our previous sessions. Maybe we did, but I cannot recall. So that's a nice first. Welcome. Some people from Georgia. That's nice. We do have an office in Georgia. Some people from Bulgaria. We also have an office there. So it's always nice to see people from these locations. Bulgaria, Portugal, and Georgia are always the places that we have the most people from in these sessions because it's where we have an office. So it's normal, but it's always nice to see. We also have an office in Turkey, and we have someone from Turkey here. Our office is actually in Istanbul, but it's a big country, so let me know where you're from in Turkey. But yeah, we have a good mix of people here. Feel free to still let me know in the chat where you're from because we are still waiting for some people to join. Maybe we will start in about 2 minutes. So you still have some time. Porto as well. Well, yes, Porto is also where we have an office here in Portugal. And today it's sunny in Portugal, which is rare because I think it rained every day of this year in Porto. And today is sunny. So I am so happy. I guess it's the sun saying welcome and just have a happy GX Tech Talk day. Ankara. Oh, nice. In Turkey. Okay, thank you all so much for letting me know where you guys are from. You can still do it in the chat when we start, but I will just start presenting DX Tech Talks and myself. So I have been rambling and I haven't introduced myself. I am Maria and I'm going to be your host for today. So, welcome to our DX Tech Talk Quality Assurance Day. Our DX Tech Talks are a series of free tech meetups that we've started organizing a while ago. Devexperts, if you don't know us already, specializes in the development of financial software solutions and also services for the global capital markets industry. We were founded in 2002, and we have R&D centers in many cities, like I mentioned in the beginning, like Jersey City, Porto, also Vilnius, Munich, Dublin, Tbilisi, Sofia, and also Istanbul. We started this project, DX Tech Talks, to be more in touch with the tech community and to be able to share our expertise in the fintech industry and discuss our projects, the technologies that we use, tools as well. Besides online events, we also organize some in our offices in Portugal, Georgia, and Bulgaria as well. Right now, we're only doing online events, but I'm hoping that in the future and very, very soon, we'll be able to do some in person as well because I really miss it. If you want to stay up to date with our events, you can follow us on social media. We also post them on Meetup and Eventbrite so you know when they are going to be. And we announce them in all of our corporate profiles. So if you follow one of our social media, you'll know, but it's always best to follow all of them. Today we have in program two tech talks. They're around 25 minutes each. And at the end, we're going to have some questions. So you'll be able to ask any questions that you have in the chat, and our speakers will answer. So our first speaker of today is Ina. Ina is a QA engineer. She has over 5 years of experience and she has been dedicating 2 of them to accessibility testing. She's one of the most active advocates of accessibility at Devexperts, and she has spent a lot of time educating people on this topic at conferences. So I'm very excited to have her here today to let you know about accessibility on a more deeper level. So I hope you enjoy, and let's all enjoy, welcome Ina to the stage.
Thank you so much, Maria. I'm really happy to be here. I guess let me share my screen. Just let me know if you're able to see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. So hello, everyone, and welcome to Tech Talk. And I'm really happy you are here, that you joined us today. Our today's topic will be the future of digital accessibility. My name is Ina. Just a sec. Yeah. My name is Ina, and I am ICQB certified tester with around 5 years of experience testing web and mobile applications, 2 of which I spent in accessibility field. I really like what I do, and I'm really happy to be here today to share some of my knowledge and experience with you. Our agenda for today will be the following. First of all, I'm going to give you a brief introduction on what digital accessibility is and why it is so important, to make sure everyone is on the same page, even those that probably never heard of accessibility. So yeah, after I do so, we'll discuss legislative and policy developments we have in this field. Then we're going to touch inclusive mobile and web trends we are having today. And in the end, I'm going to tell you about some tools, testing tools that we have for accessibility. And we'll see how AI can come into the picture and help us with testing. So let's dive in. Digital accessibility ensures everyone, regardless of ability, can access and use digital products. We need to make sure that everyone, every user can equally access and interact with the content and the technologies we provide. Why it matters so much? First of all, according to World Health Organization, 1 in every 6 of us experiences significant disability, and that's a huge number. On the other hand, accessibility is also good for business. Many countries nowadays have accessibility laws, and compliance with those laws will reduce the risk of legal complications for the companies. It will also bring more customers. Search engines like, for example, Google, pay attention to the usability of the websites, and as accessibility is a part of usability, we can gain higher SEO ranking if we implement accessibility, and of course the higher position in the search list. In the end, it also will enhance the image and the reputation of our company. So here are some points that you can use while convincing your company to do accessibility. On this slide, I wanted to show you the position of digital accessibility in the flow of people with disability using digital products. So on one hand, we have people with different kinds of impairments. Those disabilities are grouped according to our senses. So we have vision impairments, people, blind people, people with low vision, colorblindness as well, hearing disabilities like deaf, hard of hearing, physical or motor disabilities, problems with spine control, involuntary movements, and many others. Cognitive or neurological disabilities, we can name ADHD here, or dyslexia. And as a separate group, we have temporary or situational disability. This one can happen to all of us. Just imagine the situation when you are in a bright sunlight and you have to use your phone. So you have to adjust the display of your phone accordingly. Or for example, you are in the crowded place, you want to watch a video, you can turn on the captions and understand what's going on there. Aging, broken arm, lost mouse, all these are temporary or situational disabilities that, as I was saying, can happen to every one of us. So digital accessibility and accessibility in general can be useful to any one of us, not only for people with disabilities. That's why it is very important. People with different kinds of impairments use assistive technologies, and there are lots and lots of them out there on the market. I named a few of them here, just as an example. We have screen readers, magnification applications for people with vision problems. We have closed captioning, braille displays, speech recognitions, and many, many others. In order to those assistive technologies access our digital products, web or mobile applications, we have to make sure that we support keyboard navigation, for example, because people with disabilities mostly use keyboard and not mouse. We have to provide correct HTML and CSS markup in order for the screen readers to read our content correctly. We also have to use ARIA where necessary. ARIA is a group of attributes and roles we can use for our HTML elements to make them more accessible. And lastly, compliance to the standards. Of course, we use standards as a checklist to make sure we meet all the requirements that are out there in the laws. Speaking of standards, let's discuss a bit legislation and the laws that we have out there. First of all, I want to mention that here I have only 3 examples, but there are much more countries which have accessibility laws. Those are most popular, like Americans with Disability Act from 1990, or ADA for short. This this law is a base of many, many lawsuits. To name some numbers from statistics, it's about 100 and more per month. So yeah, it's a very, very popular law. Equality Act we have in UK from 200 to 2010. The Accessible Canada Act, and many others. The most recent regulation that we are having today is European Accessibility Act, EAA for short, from June 2025. And I want to expand a bit on this. It's important to know that we had EAA from 2019, but this act, this regulation is a bit different. We have expanded product coverage here. Expanded product coverage means that we don't only cover digital products, but also the devices, notebooks, phones, even ATMs are covered here. Harmonized standards, meaning that all member countries need to adjust their legislation according to this new regulation. Private sector is also included from now on, and all the companies that provide, private companies that provide digital products need to be in compliance with this regulation. And improved enforcement mechanisms. It means higher fines in the end. I talked about laws a lot, and I want to tell you that laws are sometimes a bit confusing and a bit difficult to understand and implement. So that's why, luckily, we have WCAG, or Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, created by W3C team. This is a group of success criteria that help us to make our digital products accessible. WCAG is based on 4 principles, as you can see on the slide. Perceivable means that all the users should be able to equally perceive the content that we have in our digital products. Operable, the navigation throughout our digital products should be easy for most of the users. Understandable means that all the content that we have on our website or mobile application should be understandable to different kinds of users. It's not only that the texts should be understandable, also the layout and the design. For example, you have the icon that has an image in it, and this image should be understandable for the people, like what does this button do? And robust. Robust means that our application should be strong enough to work together with different kinds of assistive technologies, like screen readers, for example. WCAG is also evolving, and we have new success criteria. Lately, the new criteria are more related to cognitive and learning disabilities, also mobile accessibility. We have, on the other hand, the revised success criteria, which are related more to the functionalities, to the technologies that are normally used. So yeah, currently we have WCAG 2.2 and 3.0 is on its way. Let's now discuss the trends for web accessibility that we are having today. Well, first of all, we have cross-device consistency. Sorry. Which means that our application or web should work on different kinds of devices, for example, smartphones, desktops, and so on. The concept of shifting left. The earlier we start accessibility implementation and testing, the cheaper it is for the company and the easier it is to implement. Responsive accessibility. In case we have responsive design that is adjustable to different kinds of resolution of different kinds of devices, we have to make sure that it works in the same way with the screen readers and supports keyboard navigation. Increased focus on mobile accessibility. From now on, we have lots of applications, so the problems related to mobile interfaces are very interesting. Focus on cognitive accessibility. We are addressing the needs of users with different kinds of cognitive impairments, and we are simplifying content and design accordingly. And community involvement. Many companies nowadays try to engage with people with disabilities and ask them to test their products or co-create the new digital products. That is very important, and here is why. People with disabilities use assistive technologies on a daily basis. So they know much more tips and tricks on how to use it and how to check the digital products than perhaps the regular testers. Let's now switch to the trends that we have in mobile accessibility. First of all, we have optimized touch targets, which means that we ensure that the buttons, the links, and other interactive elements are large enough and are spaced adequately to make sure that different users with limited dexterity can use it. Accessible gestures. Provide alternative complex gestures and ensure that user can use simple taps and swipes to navigate through the application. Here, I remember when I just started checking application on the mobiles, my team lead gave me a huge list of different kinds of gestures, separate for iOS and Android. And I was like, how can people even remember all those gestures and swipes and taps and so on? So it appears that I'm not only one with this problem, and now the trend is to simplify all those gestures and use just simple swipes and taps, luckily. And next trend is responsive text resizing. As well know, people with a low vision, they resize the text and make it larger. So in this case, we have to make sure that our design is not broken. And screen reader compatibility. This means that we always have to check how our mobile application works with different kinds of screen readers. Like we have VoiceOver for iOS devices and TalkBack for Android. It should work well on both of them. Okay, now let's discuss accessibility testing as is. We have accessibility tools, of course, which help us in this kind of testing. And the latest improvements in this direction are the following. First of all, using AI help us a great deal to automate the detection of accessibility barriers, and that makes it faster and more efficient. Tools are also incorporating user personas, which means that they are able to test our product from different users' perspective, different users with different kinds of disabilities. Mobile accessibility tools are evolving a great deal lately. Integration with popular development tools, CI/CD pipelines, and version control system that help us in switching left, as I was saying, to start implementation and testing accessibility on the earlier stages, on the stages of development and even design. Here are a couple of tools that I wanted to show you that might help you in starting accessibility testing of your product. So first one is mobile application tool, app accessibility testing tool, which is provided by Browser Stack. Yeah, it is very easy to set up, and that's why it is interesting. It has a cloud of real devices, so you don't have to buy all the devices in the world to test your product. You have them all here on this tool. Compliance check means that this tool checks all the functionalities, all the designs for compliance with WCAG. And it gives you the particular WCAG success criteria, which was violated in this or that case. This tool has screen readers built in, which helps a great deal. Like you don't have to go to a real device to turn on the voiceover, for example, and to go through your application. It is already there for you. And the last thing that is very handy is central reporting dashboard, which is very helpful when you are onboarding new people, for example, and also to have all your team on the same page. To make them see what you found and to avoid duplications. The next tool is XMCP server. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. So here we are basically, we have shifted left. So we are at the stage of developing in the code. When the developer asks AI agent, Copilot or whatever tool he uses or she, to make a code accessible, AI agent on its hand calls X platform through MCP and kind of asks what is the real tasks, what should I do, and how to solve it, possible solutions. Then the AI agent returns back to our IDE and suggests changes for the code. But in the end, it's up to developer to decide whether to accept, edit, or reject the suggested changes. The question that is often asked is whether can AI replace humans in accessibility field, in accessibility testing. So the answer for now is not really. We have to find a balance between AI and human testing. We have to understand which part of our application can be tested by AI, by automation tools, and which parts still need human insight. Of course, there is an importance of user feedback in creating accessible websites and mobile applications. Need for human in oversight. AI can't fully replace humans in the features that are more nuanced, more emotional for understanding. So here we still need human insight. and ethical concerns. Ensuring transparency of how AI adapts user experience is very crucial. Okay, I guess we've come to the end of our presentation, and just to sum up the topics that we went through, we saw what was digital accessibility, we defined it, and we saw why it was important for people, for different users, and for businesses as well. We saw how accessibility helps people with disabilities to interact, to use websites and mobile applications. We also discussed that we have a really good legislative foundation in many countries and policy developments. We also talked about inclusive mobile and web trends we're having today. I showed you a couple of tools that can be useful while testing accessibility of your digital products. And of course, we discussed the proportion, the balance between human and AI testing. Thank you so much for having me. I prepared a couple of QR codes. Just a second.
We can not see them yet. I think
Yes. Just a moment.
In the meantime, you can send us your questions in the chat. We already have some, but you can still send the questions that you have, and we're going to go through them. We also have some people saying that it was a great presentation. So thank you, Ina, for that.
Thank you so much. Can you see my screen? I'll just
I
share
can, but it's not in presentation mode. But it should be fine.
Okay, it's fine. I guess we can see the QR codes.
Yes.
That's why it's
Okay,
important.
so we do have some questions. So let's jump in. Someone said, so talking about accessibility laws and regulations, does a new law in terms of accepting extends or improves existing regulations, or they differ, so you have to check your products against each of the laws? It's a long question. I can repeat it if needed.
No, it's okay. I got the point. Thank you so much for this question. I can say that, as I showed you, we have this WCAG standards. Basically, they collected all the main requirements that the laws have, and complying to those standards, that meeting those standards is absolutely enough for you to be accessible enough, like to be in compliance with all laws. But of course, we have to make sure we know all the news that we are having in legislative fields, and if there is something additional, we also have to check. But WCAG, as I was saying, is also evolving, and it is including all the news that we have from legislative side. I hope I answered your question.
Okay. Do you use any external tool as Dark Reader for your tests, for example?
Could you repeat, please?
If you
What kind of tool?
use any tools, such as external tools, such as Dark Reader, for example, for your tests?
Yes, actually, we are mostly using screen readers. We have both devices like Windows and Mac OS. We use the screen readers for our application. And yes, we use some tools. We use X tools for Windows. That is very handy. Sometimes there are bugs that are not seen properly, like with human eyes. It is in the code, and X tool can help us with detecting those bugs. It's very useful. And also for mobiles, I could name accessibility scanner. which we're using also. It also helps a great deal to catch some things on mobile devices. As you know, we can't fully check the colors. So in this term, this device is very useful, this tool, sorry.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. We have, as I said, a lot of people just saying how great of a presentation it was between the questions. So I just wanted to give you that feedback. People are very excited. We still have some questions like what percentage of AI adoption are you having generally in your projects for test generation and running?
Well, I'm afraid I can't give just numbers or percentage at this stage, but we are really trying to use AI to implement, to get to know what tools, including AI, are there on the market, and to suggest to our management. But currently, we don't really use any of them. I can say that we are using ChatGPT as an assistant, perhaps I would say, because it helps a great deal in many situations. Like, for example, you are not sure what standard, what success criteria was violated in this or that case. So you just name the situation to ChatGPT. It helps to detect the exact success criteria, because we need to know which one is that. Thank you.
Okay. Then are there any, so this question is a bit, it says, does any mobile automation for accessibility exist?
Yes, of course. There is, as I was saying, accessibility scanner for Android that we are using on our products. And yes, it's very useful. Unfortunately, automation tools in general don't cover 100% of cases in accessibility. But we hope that the percentage will grow. Currently, it's around 40% or something like that. But yeah, the tools are evolving. They are becoming more and more useful, cover more and more test cases. So yeah, I hope that in the future we have like close to 100% coverage. And the one that I showed you also during the presentation, the one that Browsers Tech is developing, this tool is also very interesting. It has real devices that you can use, and you can test your application on it.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to do two more questions and then we'll be moving on. So we're following the time schedule. This question's a bit general, but someone asked you for suggestions or recommendations for beginner manual software testers.
Manual software testers in general, or accessibility in... Okay. Well, let's see what I can suggest. I myself started my career in testing in a very interesting way. I was suggested by a friend, and by then I didn't know anything about testing. So when I came to the company that hired me and I started, I understood that that is the thing that I want to do, like throughout my career. And I started to growing. It's not only that you are kind of doing one of the courses that are out there on the market, like Udemy or any other platform. It is good for the start, but then you have to read, you have to ask, you have to, follow up the news that are out there in the testing field, so you can evolve yourself, go to the next levels. And as for accessibility, I also started with a small course in my previous job. And I was really shocked with all those assistive technologies that people use, because I never had a touch with those ones. And it was so interesting that I decided to look for the position in this field. And then I had this opportunity with Devexperts, luckily. So 2 years in accessibility for now, and I'm really happy to be in this field.
That's so nice to hear. Well, I'm happy that you're here and that you're happy as well. So we're going to have the last question, which is if we don't want to invest in browser stack subscription, then what are the options?
Well, just to start your accessibility journey with your product, I would suggest just go through it with keyboard, with the tabs, with enter, check if it is working well, like all the elements are accessible, or the elements can be like expanded, like if it is a menu or a drop-down list. And so, and if it is possible, just test it with the screen readers as well. It is also for free. Some screen readers are built in the devices, like for example, for iOS and macOS, we have VoiceOver that is already there. You just have to activate it. For Windows, we have NVDA and JAWS. JAWS is not free, but it's a great screen reader. So you can use both, and that would be, and color contrast analyzers are online, and you can download the apps, so it will also help you. So the basic things that you have to check for accessibility will be covered with these checks.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ina. That was very insightful. And as I
Thank
said, we
you.
have very good positive feedback in the comments. So people really enjoyed your presentation. Thank you so much for being here today and for teaching us more about accessibility.
Thank you for having me.
Um, of course, and we will see Ina again on one of our dxTech talks very soon. So stay tuned. And now for our second and last talk, I will welcome Dimitar. Todorov. Dimitar has been testing software for over 14 years and has led quality in various projects and products. For the past 6 years, he's been working at Alcatraz AI as an engineering manager, leading a team of QA engineers. And he also has a deep knowledge and experience in most of the aspects of software testing and delivery, customer success, people, and project management. And today, Dimitar is going to teach us more about the strategies that he uses to make his team better every day. So, welcome, Dimitar, and feel free to take the stage.
Welcome, everyone. First, congratulations to Ina for the great presentation. It was a pleasure to listen to it. And I shared my screen. Let me know if you see the presentation screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so I'll start directly. Today I'm going to talk about building trust, which I believe is the modern currency of collaboration in organization. And before I jump to the screens, I want to make an association for you. I want to think you about trust like a fiat currency, especially when, for example, you want to achieve some goal, whether you want to purchase some asset or some good or whatever, you need fiat. And when we talk about work, it's the same. We need something to trade with, and here comes the trust in organization. Fill your pockets with trust, and you have currency for trading. I hope I spark your mind for a little bit. So, briefly present myself. As Maria mentioned, 10 plus years experience in the field. I am also a STQB certified tester, and lately I'm passionate about developing people toward success. Very brief about my personal life. I love to travel and ski with my lovely family. And today's agenda, we're going to review kind of levels of the ladder of building trust in an organization. We'll go from the very basics, fundamental, and reach up to the intermediate and top level of how we can use the trust that we build. And starting with the base point, which is the mindset of perspective. First of all, we need to focus and to set our mind toward perspective of others people and to make sure we need and we want to be there for them, to be present and to understand them. What I mean here is that trust begins when we leave our ego apart and we enter this reality of others. And before we go into the tactics, we need to understand the psychology. We are usually tend to be hardwired with a bias called fundamental assertion error. What this means is, for example, if we made a mistake or we are not moving according to schedule, let's say we are late, we start thinking, okay, I'm late because of the traffic, some external factors. But if a person came to us and he's not dealing as by schedule, or he's not delivering or lating, we start thinking, okay, what's wrong with this person? He's disorganized, he cannot manage his time, etc. So to build trust, we have to hack those instincts and to use empathy like a skill, not like a feeling. And we need to either start moving our mindset toward them and asking questions like what's wrong with them, but what's their context, what's the pressure putting them in this position. So when someone came to you to talk to you, he chose you. So first is the positioning, where you switch your mindset toward listening to him. You mentally switch your chair with his and step in his shoes in order to prepare for this. You use empathy as a skill, not just like a feeling. And then you start to ask why, but not what is he currently asking. So when we have the position, we move forward to the next level, which is basically a human nature. Even when we are born, we initially start to listen, and after that, we learn how to talk. But lately in life, maybe we talk more than we listen. All thought we have 2 ears and only one mouth. So the listening part I will review as levels, and I'll start like the first confirmation of when someone comes to you, he chooses you, choose to share with you, he want to talk with you, but he doesn't want you to just confirmationally nod your head and say, okay, yes, I hear you. He wants to have a deep conversation with you and understand you. The second level is like factual level, where you, okay, listen, check some facts, like a checkbox in the checklist, and after that you say, okay, I hear you, but that's it. What we are aiming here is the part of the empathic listening, where you listen the person to understand and to have his position in your mind. And if I have to visualize it, our goal is to move up in the ladder toward the empathic listening. And this is the level of listening where the deep connection and the trust begins to build. The person on the other side is now your friend. He will definitely look for you the next time he needs something. And this is how you start to bring the trust in your pocket. Next part after the listening is our sign of the respect to others, which is the focus. Focus is very important here, and this is something that we need to show as a respect toward others if we want to start be trustful and others look at us as a trustful contact. So nothing erodes the trust faster. Yes, Maria?
Dimitar, I think that we're only seeing like the first slide still.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now it's focus.
Okay. So you skip agenda, mindset, or?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really sorry.
Don't worry.
Should I
I
share
was
the
trying to
screen again,
understand if
or?
maybe it was my issue, so I tried in another browser and realized that yes, it. Okay, now
What
it's
you see now? Do you see the
mindset
presenter
of
view?
perspective.
Okay, let me go forward. So this, did you see this previously, or?
Now it works.
Okay. And did you see the visualization of the listening part?
No.
Now, do you see it?
Now it's mindset of perspective.
Okay.
Okay, now it's listening, yes.
Okay. Now, focus.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Sorry for this technical
Don't worry.
miss. I'll just return back to the mindset of perspective. Yes, switching roles, mentally switching chairs, the empathy, and the why behind the what. As I mentioned, the listening part, which we aim to go to emphatic listening, and now the focus part. And here I want to elaborate more on the what erodes the trust. And nothing erodes trust faster than talking to someone who is reading an email or a chat. And when we multitask, I believe this is a situation where you experience in your day-to-day life, going to meetings or talking with people. They're having their smartphone in their hands or chatting on the laptop, etc. This is not in our benefit because we are with multitasking, we are losing our cognitive abilities. We aren't efficient and we're sending signals of disrespect. Trust is built in moments of full attention. We need to agree that if we're together, we are 100% here. So respecting the time of others, giving partial attentions that your email or chat is more important than the person in front of you, erodes the trust. Also, the switching cost. As I mentioned, multitasking reduces your cognitive abilities. When this happens, more often when the meeting is too overcrowded, or the person or the people who have participation in it are waiting for their points, their slides, and during that time they are not giving respect toward other topics, etc. So examples how you can deal with it is the standard that I can share with you. Laptops closed, phone down. Look at the people of this picture. What you see here is focus and presence and attention toward everyone. And you can use, of course, papers, pencils, park everything down, ask, do a collaboration. This is how trust looks like. Look at the people smile in this picture. And of course, screens are allowed for the one who is presenting in order to have some slides, presentation, etc. This is now how we can say that the fundamentals are met for building the trust. And going forward to the advanced part, I want to mention a topic which is very trendy nowadays, and this is the silent disagreement. And what I mean by silent disagreement, every one of you know, if a meeting is too overcrowded, most of the people stay silent, but after that, they start discussion in the hallway, which is very toxic, and they tend to, this is not going to happen, there are risks, it's faulty idea, etc., etc. But no one speaks in the meeting, which is which is incorrect and give very wrong signals to the one who is pursuing attention and opinion. So how you can deal with it? Couple of advices, and after that I'll show you how you can set an environment which is appropriate for this. Voice it or own it. If you disagree, you have to mention immediately at this moment, because believe me, if you don't agree with something and you not say it, you are giving signals to others that you are okay and agree with it. After that, even if you point it, there will be no point actually of it. Second is invite the right people. Make sure only decision makers are inside and skip unnecessary participant. Overcrowded rooms tend to give the people the feeling that they could stay silent, their opinion is not important, etc. This is very important. And how we can build such environment where we can reduce this? First, we need to have the psychological safety. We need to make the disagreement safe. Instead of asking, do you agree with my idea? And believe me, everyone say, okay, boss, this is your idea. Yes, we tend to move with this idea. Start asking, what could fail if we implement this? What are the risks that we are overlooking here? And this brings the mindset of the people thinking of consequences and post-factum issues, which are not directly related to your idea. And this frees their mind to share negative or constructive feedback, let's say. And we need to have opinions and gently ask everyone to speak. You need to gather opinions. All voices have to be heard and decision to be made. And finally, commitments. This is something that should be set as a rule if you want to escape the disagreement and the sabotage after that. Even if not everyone is 100% agree on a topic or a thing you discussed, you commit to do it. And I will use a term in here that is also very trendy, disagree and commit. Even if you're not happy with the decision, you have to support the organization, the team, the group, because you are part of it and you want to be successful like them. This is kind of splitting fundamentals and now advanced level of the pyramid of building trust. And when we have these skills now, I hope I influenced you enough, we are going to talk about how we can optimize meeting and use this trust in order to trade with the organization. Here, I want to emphasize the meetings are for work, not for watching work. How we can be more organized here and more effective, streamlining status updates. If you are just reciting something or you are sharing the news, this could be Slack message in appropriate channel or an email update, or you can build separate channel for such things. Meetings should be for discussions, for work, for taking decisions. And believe me, adding those rules to your meetings, you see increasing of productivity. Second, the calendar audit. Ruthlessly review recurring meeting. If a meeting has no clear decision to be made or a problem to be solved, it should be also an email or a Slack message. And then the working session. If you have regular meeting, which are just to give updates, give status, 80% of the time, only one people is speaking, then this could also be streamlined as a message. You can, instead of transform those meetings as a working session on demand. You can try skip meetings, test for 2 weeks. If no one appears to ask and want this meeting, then that's okay. You can start move to working session when a roadblocker hits. This is the moment. Invite the right people, do the working session, and you see how the team will start look at you as a trustful source. Next is the productivity of the meetings across time zones, which is, I believe, in your company also, as mine, something very trendy. When we work across time zones, the time becomes our most precious currency. And if I ask someone to be in a meeting live in 9 p.m. in the evening without agenda, totally breaking the trust. We need to have standards here. We need to be very carefully picking the hard hours after working hours or pre-working hours. And here, in order to be more productive, successful, we need to have rules before scheduling a meeting on a cross time zone, which is outside of working hour. We need to ask questions. Could this be a recorded video? Could we share a document, a conference page for this? Requiring live attendance for someone at night is a very high bar of necessity, requires high bar of necessity. Second rule is no agenda, no attendance. Review 24 hours before the meeting. If you don't have some agenda or you don't have some, like for example, you receive a meeting invite sync on specific feature without topics, without agenda, then this shouldn't be a meeting, because this brings the insecureness of the person on the other side. Finally, you have to clearly state what's needed for the next version. People will expect who needs to own what task and when should be the next session. And if I have to visualize it on the axes, by adding each of these points, you will increase productivity in the meeting. People will love to have a meeting with you, and by time you will increase the trust, because people will say, okay, meetings with this guy or this person are working and they are more productive, etc. And now when we gather all the parts in the ladder, we need to make sure that everyone, if we move the broader audience, for example, not meeting only to our teams, across team, cross organization, etc., we need to have everyone opinion and voice by searching them, by asking them, not only by we don't need to wait for volunteers. We have to actively invite specific people to speak, because we need their specific expertise. And it's not like putting there on the spot and asking, hey, tell what you think about this idea in front of everyone else. It's no, we need your technical expertise in order to prevent issues or failures. This is how the person on the other side starts thinks, okay, they need my opinion, they trust me. That's the currency here. Secondly, roundtable. First, go and collect opinion from everyone and make sure, if you're the lead, to speak last, because this is critical. Leaders tend to share ideas in the beginning. Everyone's opinion is biased and attached to this one, like an anchor bias. So you need to be very careful when you share your thoughts. Keep them for the last. And with this, I kind of finalize the levels of building trust in communication in organization. And final part, like the cherry of the cake here, is the recognition. This is the part when you need to show your gratitude. One of my favorite feelings and, let's say, characteristic of a person, the gratitude toward the people who trust you and see you as a partner. You have to understand the position. You have to validate that participating for someone different than your role, lower than your role, or someone new is very difficult. People tend to be shy, etc. So you have to praise this and not just praise the result. Very good task, customer is satisfied. No, you have to praise the behavior and the work of the person. Sometimes task could be postponed, not delivered, etc. It doesn't mean that the person is not giving 100%, even more of his effort, etc. And very carefully, you need to know who prefers public versus private recognition. Some people prefer the privacy, and others prefer to be very loudly talk of in the hallway, etc., etc. And if I have to sum up at the end, very briefly, empathy, step into the other shoes, feel the other person. Believe me, this builds the trust most. Focus and presence. Be there, be present for each other. Listen to you, but listen to understand, not just to check the box in the check mark. Speak up. You have to be listened. If you don't speak up at the right moment, this means you agree. And like you don't have the right to disagree after that, because you were silent when you have to be vocal. So be more vocal and express your opinion. And finally, the glue. We are part of a machine, of an organization, and we are the glue. We have to engage. We need to collaborate, to brainstorm, and to participate. So do it. Be proactive. And I hope the presentation was nice to you. This is the QR code with my LinkedIn page, and now I'll be happy to answer questions.
Thank you so much, Dimitar. This was great. No, I'm not from the tech background, so usually during tech talks, I'm always like, oof, what is this? But I could totally understand yours because it wasn't as technical and it was very interesting even for someone that isn't in the tech industry or even quality assurance. So this was very nice. We also have some people saying congratulations, that it was a great presentation. Someone said that they would love that their boss would hear this presentation. So, Alexandra, maybe you can just send it to them, just sneakily. But we do have some questions, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to send them here. It's one of them is, how do you identify meetings that are redundant and could easily be transformed to Slack or email update? This is something that we all want. So how do you do this?
Okay, several approach, or let's say factors here that I can suggest. First, review recurring meetings, and not specifically the recurring because everyone have them, but the content. And there is a one thing like perspective, what the one-way road in a meeting. Usually, if someone is talking 80% of the time, this means one thing: transfer of information. Someone is reading the news. Let's say someone is transferring information, giving you a description of requirements or whatever, and the rest of the meeting, small 20%, this is for discussion. So this is a pure sign of a meeting that can be reduced. And you can give this 2-week testing experiment. If a meeting is redundant and you feel like you are just discussing stuff on, like you're repeating yourself and no clear decision is made, no clear goal, stop the meeting for 2 weeks. And if someone has something to share, he will, and you can then on demand set such meetings. So look for these factors. If there is only one person talking in the room, means that this is just sharing of information and can be very easily reduced.
That's great. Someone said this is great advice. I never thought about it. So thank you. How do you approach or you call out someone if you notice that they are multitasking in a meeting?
Okay, very hot topic. Some people tend to offend, but I can think of 2 approaches. One is the emergency check. Let's say we are 5 people in the room having a meeting, and I call Ivan. I see him chatting, or Ivan, is there some urgent fire that you have to put out? We can pause for 10 seconds here, and please do the important thing. This way, you bring his attention that, okay, this is not so urgent, and I shouldn't be doing this. My fault, but not publicly, not loudly, and he will try to be present. And second approach is the direct re-engagement. So you can be more direct, but now trying to be like, Ivan, we were discussing, let's say, our next quarter launch and plans and tasks and priorities, and we needed your opinion. What do you think about it? How do you chime in here? This time the person will stop. You will be telling him what you were talking about without the part where you erode the trust. You help him, and now he understands. Okay, I shouldn't be doing this. Let's focus on the topic.
I see.
Kind of.
This is a good one. Also, someone said, how do you tell someone in a nice way that this could be or could have been an email? A question that we all have had at some point.
Yeah, sometimes, as I say, direct approach is okay, but showing showing maybe the factors related here. If a meeting is constantly repeating the same 80 to 20% or 70-30, one person speaking is like you can say, hey, we value your input here. We value this, but most of the time we cannot express feedback, let's say. We are just discussing small things after that, and there is no follow-up agenda, action item after that. It's just like one man show. We value this, we like this, but can we do it like a newsletter, let's say, like a channel where you can share your thoughts? No one will offend of that. It's not like remove this meeting, we don't need it, we need it, we value it, the information is impactful, but we want to have it streamlined, let's say, in a way that everyone can read it whenever he wants to come back to it, right? Not really to request presence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because people are busy, so let's get it moving. Thank you. We have one last question, which is how do you solve ambiguous requirements?
Okay, I will give direct example here with my experience. Usually, requirements needs review, and you need a sign off from the stakeholders. Give you direct example. You receive requirement for a specific feature which is web, and you don't know if it's only desktop web or mobile progressive web app, etc., etc. You need to call out the one who is responsible for the customer, which is usually the product owner slash manager. Then you need to call out the one who will do the feature actually, and gather them and ask them the correct question. The important part here is they see you approaching them, which means you trust them. Correct questions, you are prepared, right? This also add trust on top of it. And solving them, you show them, okay, now those test cases here or whatever are more clear, and we are not going to lose time or catch defects later. This way, they will see the value in your approach to them in order to resolve the ambiguity, and they will understand, okay, now when we set this clear, we are unblocked to the next level, and we reduce the risks that could be impactful.
Okay, this is great. Thank you so much, Dimitar. As I said, we have great feedback from the chat. So thank you so much for your insights and for answering all of the questions. It was great to have you, and I hope that maybe in the future we can have you again as a speaker here at dxTech Talks.
I would love to.
We'll stay in touch for that. So, thank you everyone for joining. You can follow us on social media to stay in touch with our events, to know which ones are coming out. We're actually doing another quality assurance event next month, which is totally different from everything that we've done before. So make sure to stay tuned. It's going to be very interesting. And we're always looking for speakers. So if you want to be a speaker at one of our DX Tech Talks, we have a call for papers on our landing page, which is dxtechtalks.devexperts.com. So you can go there and apply and also just read a little bit about Devexperts and DX Tech Talks if you're interested about that. So thank you all for joining, and I will see you again in a future DX Tech Talk. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.